Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be testing the Gina K Designs dye inks and blending brushes and comparing them to my very cheap blending brushes. I think I got them from Temu, and I'll be using my normal dye inks from Stampin' Up. Is the premium option really worth the extra cost, or can the cheaper alternatives, especially the brushes, give you just as smooth a result? I'm not going to be making any cards or anything. This is just literally to test out the brushes mainly, but Gina K inks apparently have a smoothing agent in them to help get a better blend. So I'll try to make the test as fair as possible, but as I've had the Stampin' Up inks for a couple of years now, there is a chance they may not be quite as juicy as they could be. So I'll try and bear that in mind. So let's get blending. So the first thing I notice about the Gina K blending brushes is that they do feel softer and a bit more compact than the cheap ones do. I'm not sure if these were makeup brushes, or I can't even remember where I got them from. It's probably Temu or Amazon, but the Gina K brushes are definitely softer. They feel softer, and the neck bends. I forgot to showcase this, but the neck bends as well, so you can apply different amounts of pressure when you're blending. So rather than splash out on a load of new inks, I just decided to purchase a pack of 3 mini ink pads. The Gina K ink pads have a felt base, whereas the Stampin' Up ones are foam based. I'm not sure if this makes a difference, but my Distress Oxides are foam based as well, so I am quite used to using them. So these are the Gina K inks, different. There's a light cranberry, medium cranberry, dark cranberry. I did try to choose Stampin' Up ink pads that were similar in colour, as similar as I could find anyway. So I'm going to be testing both of these out. On the Gina K video I saw, she used her masking magic sheets to cut out a mask to use on the card she was making, so I'll do the same. I don't expect to get the perfect blends that she does, but I will certainly try my best. The masking magic sheets are absolutely fantastic, and they're reusable as well. I'll leave a link to the video that I saw, and I'll leave a link to all the products that I've used, if I can find them, in the description below this video. So I am going to use a full sheet, and I'm going to cut out the middle using an oval die, and then what I'll do is I'll cut the sheet down to size so it fits over the card that I'm using, and then I'll just peel off the backing and stick it onto the card, and it'll stay there until the ink has been blended. The ink won't bleed under or anything. It won't lift up until you're done, but it's so low tack that it doesn't rip the card or anything like that. But you can also, it's strong enough that you can use it again and again. It's really good masking paper. I prefer this over any other that I've tried. It's excellent. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the cheap blending brush with the Stampin' Up dye inks. I have to tell you now that Stampin' Up dye inks are not bad quality. They're very good quality. The reason I wanted to try the Gina K inks was because of this smoothing agent that she says she has in it, just to see if it does make a difference. So I'm going to start off with the cheap blending brush that I got from Temu. I'm not sure if the ink pad that I'm using is particularly dry, but I don't use the ink pads a lot, especially for blending, but I didn't buy any re-inkers, so even though this is not applying very well, I'm not sure if it's the ink pad that's dry or if it's the blending brush that's just not loading up properly. I did clean the blending brush before I used it, like I give it a thorough clean, and I dried it overnight just to see if it would help, because it was covered in red. So I just wanted to make sure that I started with a brand clean brush, because I don't have any new ones to use. So as you can see, I am struggling a little bit to load up the brush, but I'm not sure if it's the actual colour of the ink or if it's the ink pad himself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video now, and I'm going to blend as best I can using the same brush but with the 3 different colours. So yeah, that seems quite blotchy. But like I said, I'm not sure whether it's the ink pads. Maybe they're not as juicy as they should be because I've had them for so long, or it could be the brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now use the Gina K ink and blending brush to see what kind of a blend I get from that. But to make it a fair test, I will be doing some more blending using a different combination at the end of the video. So stick around if you're interested to see the results of that little experiment. It was a bit tricky using such a big brush on such a small ink pad, but I persevered. It didn't look as though there were a lot of ink actually in the ink pad, but there is, as you will see as I go along. So I'm going to speed up the video like I did last time, and I'm going to try blending these three colours together, bearing in mind of course that the results will also depend on my blending ability, which isn't that great. So I'll leave you to make your own mind up about that. So these inks are absolutely beautiful and vibrant. They've blended so well. Again, it could be because the ink pads are new and more juicy than the ones I've been using. But look at the difference. So I'm going to do an experiment now. I am going to mark down which ones these are. And I'm going to do another experiment where I use the Gina K blending brush with the Stampin' Up ink pads, and then the cheap blending brush with the Gina K ink pads, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to come back and show you pictures of the little experiment, and you can see the results and work out for yourself whether or not it's worth spending money for a little bit better product. Well, a little bit better. I think they are a lot better, the products, especially the blending brushes. But let me know what you think anyway. I'm really interested in your opinion, so if you can let me know in the comments what you think about the brushes and the different inks and the different effects and the different blends that we've got from each of these. So what I've gleaned from this is that the good quality blending brush is very, very important, but I'm not sure if you agree. But using the Gina K blending brush, even with a different ink that isn't Gina K, I got a much better blend and a much better coverage. So perhaps the dye inks that I've been using, the Stampin' Up ones, are not as dry as I thought they were. It could just be that I've been using the wrong brush, because as you can see, it's quite close. The Gina K inks have definitely smoothed out over time. I did leave them overnight anyway. I know you don't have to leave them that long, but I did leave it overnight just to make sure it was well and truly dry. And I do honestly believe that I will eventually replace my Stampin' Up ink pads with the Gina K ones, because of the wonderful vibrant colours, the coverage, the blending, the smoothing agent. I think they're fantastic, but I'm not in a hurry to do that. But I do think I will be replacing my cheap blending brushes with some premium ones, because it has made a massive difference, I think. So I'm not sure if you agree with me. I'd really appreciate your opinions. If you could leave a comment below the video, that would be great. But thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye bye now.